Yo, what's good? It's Malcolm here, back with you from Urban X TV, and I'm here to bring you 5 books about money you should read in 2018. Now, people, you know how I feel about books, and I think books are extremely important. I'm not knocking people who read Kindle or who listen to audiobooks. Some of my friends do it. I don't knock it, just as long as you're getting information. However, I do think actually sitting down and reading works a different part of your brain. You know what I'm saying? It forces you to be still. You're not just doing something while you're listening to a book. You're not just driving. You have to really make time to actually sit down and read. So, with that said, I think 2018 is going to be a big year for a lot of people as far as financially, because a lot of people on this different frequency where, like, we understand how important financial freedom is, and we understand how it can help black people in the long run, not just personally. So I compiled these are 5 books that I really enjoyed reading, and I don't think they're too difficult. I think like a lot of people can read them. These are really quick reads, and I think some of these are really interesting as well. So here we go. So the first book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. My fault. Yeah, so this was one of my pops recommended this book to me a long time ago, and this is one of the best personal finance books of all time. Sold millions of copies. It's been translated into I think almost 20 different languages. And what this book is about is the author Robert Kiyosaki. He grew up with 2 dads. Well, one dad, and his rich dad was his best friend's father, who had some money, who ran businesses, and his real dad, who he called his poor dad, who went to college, worked a good job, but was poor. So he breaks down the differences between the lessons each father gave him, each one of his dads gave him, and he highlights the differences of how rich people think and how poor and middle class and poor people really think. And the differences will, if you grew up a certain way, a lot of the things that it'll challenge the way you think about money and how you think about finances in general. And so, it can be controversial, I guess, because you grew up, especially if you went to college and things like that, you grow up thinking about money a certain way, and he kind of just flips it on his head. So I think this one is a really good one. Check, it's not that big of a book, quick read. So check this one out. So my number 2 book about money that you should read in 2018 is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So, and as you can see, this book sold 15 million copies worldwide. It's the real deal. So the concept around this book is the author Napoleon Hill, who was a mentee of Dale Carnegie, was given a project to interview, it was like 500 of the wealthiest men and women around the world, and find out what their secret to being wealthy is. And in his study, it took him 20 years to do so. He found an overall concept, if you will, from all of these wealthy people, and he decided to write about it in this book. I definitely recommend it. If you study any of the modern wealthy people, they all kind of point to this book, and that's one of the reasons why I read it. I wanted to see what the big deal was, and it was really good. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. My number 3 book to read this year about money is The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, who was the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And this is the second book in his series. I like this one a lot because he goes more in depth with his ideas and what it means to be financially free. The concept around this book is, I don't know if you can see it, is the BEIS, and this stands for business owner, employee, self-employed, and investor. And the goal of this book is he wants to convince people to get from this side of the quadrant to this side because of the tax laws and other benefits like that'll help you become financially free. Really dope. Really dope. Check this one out. My number 4 book, this is one of my favorite books, called The Millionaire Next Door. And it's the surprising secrets of America's wealthy. So what this book is about is showing you it's dispelling all the myths of what being a millionaire in America is like. So we see, you know, cribs and things like we see rappers floss their money, their jewelry, you know, their cars and things like that. But what these two, who the authors are, Thomas Stanley and William Danko, they're both doctors, they're both, you know, PhDs, and what they're trying to show you is that most of America's millionaires don't live like that. They actually live very humbly, and that's how they made their money, and that's how they're keeping their money. And what they do in the book as well, they show you how people who are making $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year are still living check to check, which still makes them poor in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And they showed how somebody who made $100,000 a year in salary can work, you know, with investments and things like that, and living frugal can work to become a millionaire. And if you live in New York City, you'll know. I don't know if a lot of people realize it. You could be on the 2 train somewhere and be sitting next to a full-fledged millionaire who doesn't want a car because he lives in the city. You know what I mean? So when we have to, this is a book that it was really good for me because it showed me that what I'm seeing on TV is not really what's happening, and it's a different way to think about money than to just get something and spend it. So The Millionaire Next Door is really good. And my 5th book, my last book I think you should read about money in 2018 is Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Now, I'm not really big on self-help books because, you know, they kind of get redundant after a while. Like, a lot of them say the same thing, and a lot of them are real, just, you know, they're really friendly about things. The author T. Harv Eker is brutally honest, in which I appreciate it. He talks about certain ideas you have about money, and how if you keep having these ideas you will be broke. And he's brutally honest, which I appreciated the most. I think that's why I really took to this book the most. And he dispels myths that he's had growing up, how he was taught about money, and how you might have been taught about money, and how that mindset is going to keep you in the same position you are, and how changing that mindset, you know, will lead you to a more successful, I guess, a richer life. And it doesn't have to be with money. So definitely pick this one up. This was really cool. So there you have it. Those are my 5 books that I think you should read about money in 2018. Now, the year just started, so the list will grow. So I think these are just a starting point for a lot of people who want to get, you know, more information about money and how they can change their mindset about it. So if you want my list of my other top 10 books, you know, in general that I read, I'll leave the description to that in the box below. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to also visit the blog at urbanx.nyc. I'm Malcolm. Peace.